Hey, what's going on, guys? I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Welcome to drboycetv.com and Dr. Boyce Daily. This is where I kind of give you a quick daily update on what I'm seeing in the stock market and the things that are kind of moving the market right now. I hope everybody's doing well, and also I hope you guys can hear me okay. So, first thing I want to talk about is GameStop. A lot of you have been following what's been going on with GameStop, and there is a ton of interesting information happening with GameStop. Last night, the stock went berserk. It went up like crazy. And last time I checked this morning, it didn't do very well. It actually started to collapse. It's dropped by 33% so far today. A lot of stock exchanges have temporarily halted the trading of GameStop because of the volatility. So this stock is it's kind of out of control. It's been driven. A lot of it's been driven by this Roaring Kitty guy. This guy named Roaring Kitty, who has been kind of the Pied Piper leading the charge on GameStop. Now, the reason that I really think you should be aware of Roaring Kitty is because I think that there's some market manipulation going on. I talked about that earlier today in our economic elevation financial consciousness training that basically there are a lot of people getting screwed, and so in my 2 cents, I think that sort of being careful and being aware of what's happening with GameStop and not getting caught up in the frenzy is probably the safest way to invest. And in fact, there is there's some stories on this, and I'm gonna read some of this to you, and I'll kind of give you my breakdown. All right, so here in Yahoo Finance, it says GameStop stock plunges as Roaring Kitty reappears. Company plans a big stock sale. So what's happening here from a financial consciousness standpoint is that those who see the frenzy happening are looking for ways to profit. GameStop itself as a company is profiting. They are planning a massive stock sale because they know that their stock is overvalued. When a company knows that the stock is overvalued, that's when they want to sell. That's why all the research, all the you guys know my background. I'm not a financial influencer. I am not a financial influencer. I am a financial scientist. I have a PhD in this stuff. So what most of the research studies say is that when the insiders sell, when the heads of the company want to sell, the stock price tends to drop. Well, why would the stock price drop when the insiders want to sell? Well, it's because when insiders are selling their own company, people say, well, why don't you want to own more of this? If you knew that this was a valuable asset, if you knew this asset was worth what you claim it's worth, then you'd want to buy it. You wouldn't be trying to sell it. That's why when somebody says, hey, I got this $100,000 Mercedes, but I'll sell it to you for 20,000, you're not going to jump out and say, oh my God, that's so great, I'm going to save $80,000. You don't do that. What do you do? What do you do? If you're smart, what do you do? Put it in the chat. You say, well, if it's such a great car, why are you selling it? If it's so wonderful to have, why are you trying to give it away to me? Well, the same thing is happening with GameStop stock. I think that's GameStop stock. I think that the insiders know the company's not worth it. I think that Roaring Kitty knows it's not worth it. I think that he's a guy who has been able to, unfortunately, engage in what appears to be some type of market manipulation. And I think it should be illegal. I don't understand why it's being allowed because a lot of people are going to get hurt. So right now, GameStop is down 36%. And this is insane because last night it was up, I want to say 40% or something crazy. So it started going up overnight. Why? Because this guy announced that he was going to do a live stream, which tells me that we're really in the middle of a crazy market frenzy. And as a result of this ridiculous frenzy, you have people that don't understand the core idea that I want to share with you today. The core idea is to watch out because this sucker will crash on you in a minute. This is not investing, folks. This is not investing. This is what you call gambling. And I talked about that this morning in our economic consciousness training. If you want to be invited, we do that every morning at 10 a.m. Just text the word morning, MORNING, to the number 87948. If you text morning to 87948, I will invite you. It's a free class that I do every single day for anybody that wants to understand how markets work. There's a lot of scammers on the internet, a lot of people that don't know what's going on, that don't have any credentials. I have a PhD in this stuff, and I'd love to help you see what I see. So anyway, they say here, after a 20-minute delay to the originally scheduled start time, the live stream with Roaring Kitty kicked off with a video clip of kittens playing interspersed with shots of Gil. So they kind of add this sort of fun, silly vibe to it to basically get people all caught up in the meme stock stuff. He then appeared in front of a screenshot of a Yahoo Finance stock page for GameStop. He says, I'm alive, kinda. What's up, everybody? Crazy stuff going on these days. Can you believe it's me? The stock had opened lower on Friday and was also halted for volatility earlier in the session after the company reported quarterly results that missed analyst estimates and announced a stock sale. For the first quarter, GameStop posted an adjusted loss of 12 cents per share versus the estimated loss of 9 cents. What this means is that everybody knew GameStop was going to lose money. Everybody knew that GameStop was going to lose money. Everybody knew GameStop was going to lose money. The only question was not whether they're going to lose money. The question was how much were they going to lose. So the estimate was that they were going to lose 9 cents a share, which I guess might hover around $1 billion or something. But instead, they actually lost 12 cents a share, which is more than that. They said net sales dropped 29%. So this is not a growing company, people. This is not a growing company that justifies the insane price movements of the stock. There's nothing about GameStop stock that says that the price should be even $29. Even $29 is crazy. This stock is not a $29 stock. Maybe it's a $2 stock or something. I don't know. Maybe a $5 stock. It's not a $29 stock, in my opinion. In fact, let me pull this chart up so we can kind of look at GameStop and kind of bring it into perspective. Not telling you not to participate. I'm just here to warn you that if you buy GameStop stock, you're not investing, you're gambling. But I'm not a person to tell you not to gamble. We all go to Vegas at some point. Vegas is a fun place to gamble, but you don't go to Vegas thinking, hey, mama, I'm gonna become an investor. I'm investing in blackjack, in the blackjack table. If you invest in the blackjack table, you will go broke. So that's not an investment, that's gambling. So here is what GameStop has done today. It's down 36.7%. The last 5 days, it's gone down 26%. So if you've been participating in the frenzy, you probably lost money. Most of these poor 25-year-olds who are following Roaring Kitty are getting their ass kicked financially. Now, in the last month, though, you've had quite a move, 80%. Roaring Kitty's made money. I'm sure Roaring Kitty positioned himself to benefit when he decided to go public. He's the only guy that knows when he's going to do a live stream. He's the only guy that knows when he's going to tweet. And he knows that his tweets and his live streams move the stock price. So this, to me, is a type of market manipulation to which I don't understand why the SEC does not have the teeth to investigate this and to put a stop to it. But whatever, it's life. It's whatever you're going to do. Here's GameStop stock over the last 6 months, about 80% up the last 6 months. Year to date, it's up 76%. So if you are a person that believes in gambling on these frenzies, then that can actually, it actually might have made you some money. This kind of trading is a time where you might have got lucky. Just like if you go to Vegas, if you bet, if you sit at the blackjack table, you might walk away with more money than you came up with. But that's not the same as investing, because investing is long-term delayed gratification and consistent asset allocation that's going to lead to long-term gains and long-term wealth. So these are two different things. Now, by the way, I want to ask you all a quick question. Can you all hear me? Give me a quick yes if you can hear me, and give me a yes in the chat if you can hear me. And also, I want you all to know what this is. This is Dr. Boyce Daily Stock Market. This is where I wanted to come in each day and kind of give you a daily update on what I see in the stock market. And so this podcast is on Spotify. So if you go to Spotify and look up Dr. Boyce Daily, you can find this podcast there. So if you like to listen to me every day, I have 3 podcasts on Spotify. One is called the Dr. Boyce Breakdown. That's literally a bunch of content in a bunch of different areas. Dr. Boyce Daily Stock Market is all about stock market stuff. So I won't bore you with any conversation about the elections or anything like that. It's all about what's happening today in the stock market. And then I actually have another podcast that I think goes right to the core, and it's called How to Make Money Without Working. And How to Make Money Without Working literally centers on that. It centers on the fact that there are a lot of ways to make money in this country that don't require you to sell your soul to the corporate plantation. You guys know the vibe on that. If you're interested in seeing a training I did called How to Make Money Without Working, just pull out your phone, text the word money to 87948, and I'll tell you all about what we're doing with stock options to generate income. So text the word money to 87948, and it'll come to you immediately. Now let's get back to Roaring Kitty. Let's just kind of jump into this conversation and finish this up really quick, because I'm not going to take a lot of your time today. So I mentioned to you all that Roaring Kitty, I honestly think he's full of crap. GameStop stock, I think it's a terrible stock. I feel bad, very bad, for all the young people that are getting ripped off right now. But then again, it's part of the game. If you own GameStop stock for the last year, you might have made about 12%. If you owned it for the last 5 years, you earned over 2,000%. So it looks like a pretty nice investment. But here's one thing I want to show you all really quickly. And this is what GameStop looked like before the frenzy. Let's look at, it's almost like you see an athlete on steroids, like Ben Johnson. Anybody remember Ben? How about this? Let me give you an analogy. Anybody remember Ben Johnson? How many of y'all are old enough to remember when Ben Johnson ran against Carl Lewis back in the 1980s? Now, some of y'all are going to say, oh my God, you sound like such an old person. You sound like a boomer. But technically, I'm not a boomer. I'm a Gen Zer, which ain't much better because we all getting up there. But old people can teach you shit. We can teach you things that you may not know. So don't think you know everything. So anybody remember Ben Johnson and Carl Lewis? I promise you I'm making a point here. All right. So here I want to bring Ben Johnson up because let me tell you the story about Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson was a guy who just kind of jumped on the scene in track and field, and he ran against Carl Lewis, and he kicked Carl Lewis in the ass. I mean, he blew out the world. He actually broke the world record in extraordinary and dramatic fashion. He and Carl Lewis had this massive beef that was pretty epic. And I followed all of it because at that time I was a teenager and I was into track and field. And I studied track. I used to be a track coach. I don't know if I don't mention that much, but I used to be a track coach. And so anyway, so Ben Johnson was this, and he was different from Carl Lewis because he was big. He had all these big muscles, and he was like this athlete that was literally basically cheating. But honestly, I'm a realist when it comes to track and field. I believe that steroid use is pretty rampant. But anyway, he would kick Carl Lewis's ass, and Carl Lewis hated his guts. I think Carl was jealous because Carl had more natural talent than Ben. And if you saw Ben Johnson before and after the steroids, it was a totally different person. When you saw Ben before the steroids, he was thinner, he was slower. I think he'd run in the previous Olympics and got like 5th or 6th place. So he was good, but he wasn't Carl Lewis good. Carl Lewis was the man. Ben Johnson comes along with his steroid ass and just kicks it, just destroys everyone. So here's the deal. So to me, GameStop in the middle of this frenzy reminds me of Ben Johnson on steroids. GameStop right now is a stock where if someone could argue very directly and say, hey, if you bought GameStop stock, I have a hard time saying that. GameStop stock 5 years ago, you would have made a 2,000% return. That's a great investment. I can't argue with that. I can't. I mean, yeah, if you were lucky enough to be a roaring kitty and get in there early, you were going to kill it. And Roaring Kitty has made $300 million from his affiliation with GameStop. But here, I want you to look at GameStop before the steroids. See, the frenzy is like steroids. It's like Ben Johnson. When he started taking drugs, he became Superman. And if you see here on this chart, give me a guess if y'all can see this chart. And if you're listening on Spotify, you won't be able to see it, but you'll be able to hear me describe it. So look at let me know if y'all can see this. So look here. This is where GameStop was in the first frenzy. This was January 29, 2021. The stock is at $81. This is when everybody in the media was talking about it. People were like, holy crap, what's going on? This is insane. I've never seen this. The financial scientists like me, the nerdy PhD types, we were all like, whoa, this is ridiculous. This is crazy. So here is what it looked like when GameStop got on steroids. And you see that in the steroid era, GameStop has really traded at a pretty high level. Even when it's kind of lulling off, it's been like over $10 a share. Let's look at GameStop before the steroids. This is more of a reflection of what the market really thought about this company. Do you see that? What's this? April 17, 2020. It's $1.22. $1.22. Let's go back to October 25th, 2019. It's $1.59. Even here, this is pretty good. This was this is a blockbuster. This big money was made here. That's $3.75. So even when GameStop was trading at $3.75, that was a big deal. People got excited. They made crazy bank when GameStop shot all the way up to $2.37 on September 25th, 2020. So when it hit 81, that's crazy. It's these other prices. Look at that. That's what's that other one? Like $66 a share. Here recently, it's hit $30 a share. This stock, people, is not worth $30 a share. It's not worth $81 a share. It's not even worth $12. It's not even $9 is pushing it. Remember, even before the steroids, $9 a share would have made national headlines for this stock. This stock is losing money. This is not a company where, they have those songs, started from the bottom, now we here. GameStop started at the bottom and they stayed there. They were at the bottom and then they started going down, and Roaring Kitty comes along and convinces a bunch of naive 25-year-olds that GameStop is on its way to some massive revolution. And I'm just going to tell you that this is what they call irrational exuberance. This is not rational behavior. This is not investing. This is gambling, man. This is social engineering or something. Give me 1 second here. I'm going to get a history of GameStop earnings over the last 10 years. Okay. Let me see if I can find this online. Let's look at their revenue. Hit the thumbs up button, by the way. Please hit the thumbs up button. Thumbs up, share, subscribe. Also, while I do this, feel free to join us for the morning class for free. Make sure you text the word morning to 87948. You're going to love the class. It'll change your life. And also later on today, I'm going to send out a link where if you want to try out my stock options income class Prime, which is very, very popular. Everyone loves it. You could try it out for $1. Now, the monthly fee is $3.99 because you get tremendous value from this training. But if you want to try it out for $1, I'll send that link out later. So make sure you get on the text list. Text the word morning to 87948. All right. So let me see here. And hopefully I can find this data. Let me see if I can find it. Maybe I should have found it before I came out here, but y'all know what it is. Sometimes you realize in the middle of it, you got to find stuff. All right. So here, listen to this. Yeah. Oh, you're gonna laugh. You're gonna laugh when I tell you what I'm looking at right now. This. Ooh, Lord, y'all some suckers, man. This stock is gonna beat you in your ass. All right, so I somebody applauded me the other day for not cussing as much, so I probably need to stop that. But sometimes you can't help it. All right, so okay, so let me tell you about GameStop. All right, so GameStop stock, and let me look at this here. This is okay, and I want to kind of I'm qualifying my data here so we can understand this. Okay, all right. So let me try to explain it. I'm jumping out of my seat right now because I want to try to explain this without my ADHD kicking in and me confusing you. All right. So first off, let's think about it like this. Okay, I showed y'all the chart. GameStop stock is trading at $30 a share, right? And there are people who will get mad at me because I don't believe in their Lord and Savior, Roaring Kitty, and they think I'm just being a hater. You know how it is. Like, you're older, rather than listening to older people for wisdom, there are people who think that somehow only young people know what's going on, when really you're the ones who know the least about what's going on, because we done seen the game. We understand what's happening. I've seen this before. So here, if you look here and you see this chart, this is a complete history of GameStop stock going back as far as the company has been publicly traded. Now, that part at the end is where the frenzy starts. The stock gets on steroids. It's trading at these really elevated levels between $30 a share and $81 a share, stuff like that. You would think that before the steroids, right, where the prices were like $1 a share, $2 a share, $4 a share, you would think that they were making less money back then than they're making now. Let me know. Give me a yes if you're following what I'm saying. You would think that if the price has gone up this much, then there must be more money being made, right? Like, do you get what I'm saying? Right? So that's not the case. That's not the case. GameStop revenue for 2023 was $5.9 billion. For 2022, it was $6 billion. For 2021, it was $5 billion. So those are the revenue numbers after the stock went on steroids, after all the investors started doing the frenzy. Can you guess what GameStop revenue was back, say, in 2015 when the stock was trading at $11 a share? It was $9.3 billion. So here, where the stock is trading at $11.52 per share, their revenue was nearly twice as high as it is now, where the stock is trading at $30 and above on a lot of these days. So you have a scenario. Pay attention now. I need y'all to let me know if you're getting what I'm saying. You have people out here that have been rope-a-doped into paying more money for the stock of a company that is weaker than it was when the stock price was much, much lower. So what I did was I also looked at net income over these years. GameStop is a money loser. GameStop will take all your cash flow and dump it down the toilet. This is a wealth transfer, people. This is what this is, a wealth transfer, meaning that they're taking money from these suckers, these poor people that are buying the stock, and they're wasting this money. Let me just break it down like this. Since the stock went on steroids in the meme stock era, net income for this company, which is revenue minus expenses, right, pretty much, for 2023, negative 313 million. 2022, negative 381 million. 2021, negative 215 million. So in the whole era where GameStop was trading at elevated levels, tell me if you're following what I'm saying. Can y'all still hear me? Give me a yes if you can hear me, because I had to block somebody just now because it looks like an imposter fake account or fake person in the chat. So I had to block them. So let me know if y'all can hear me. In the whole meme stock era, GameStop has been systematically losing hundreds of millions of dollars, destroying hundreds of millions of dollars in shareholder wealth, taking the money that is coming from the shareholders and dumping it in the toilet. In the era before it got on steroids, that's when it was profitable. This is what's so hilarious about this chart. This chart is hilarious to me because in 2015 and 2016, this company was trading around between what's this, about $11, $9 to $11. It started to drop slowly to 2018, where it's about $3 a share. The company, it was profitable in 2018. And what was going on here, the reason the stock price was dropping from 11 down to 3 is because each year they became less profitable and their revenue was consistently dropping. They went from 9 plus billion in 2015, and then by 2018 they were down in the 8 billions. By 2020 they were down to 6.5 billion. And this company has continued to drop ever since. Do you understand? I mean, I let me know if I've made a case to you to say that basically this investing in the stock has pretty much been a sucker's bet. It's been just, and I say a sucker's bet because this is not investing, people. This is gambling. And gambling is not what we're here for. If you want to gamble in your own time, there's nothing wrong with that. But I just want to warn you that there is a rope-a-dope being done here. And the only people that are going to walk away from this circus with money in their pocket is going to be Roaring Kitty and GameStop's executives and anybody who's smart enough to understand what's really happening here. This stock will explode on you. It will decline on you. Right now, they can't trade it because the volatility is too high. The company is telling you in every earnings announcement that they suck. They don't have the ability to make money. And Roaring Kitty is going out and talking to uninformed investors and convincing them that this company is really a diamond in the rough. So that's it, guys. I actually got to get out of here. I just realized I have a meeting that I'm late for. And so I'm going to bounce on out and wish you all adieu. And I hope you have a wonderful day. And just remind you, if you want to check out this podcast on Spotify, just go to Spotify and look up Dr. Boyce Daily Stock Market, and you'll find it there. And also, if you want to get an invitation to join my stock options income training program, which is very popular, it's called Prime, stands for Passive Recurring Income Machine. You could try it out for $1. Just get on the text list. Text the word morning to 87948. Text morning to 87948, and you'll also get an invitation to tomorrow's Money in the Morning. And so anyway, I'm going to see you guys later. And Deborah and Yashika, I see you in there, and God bless you, and I appreciate all your support. So love you guys. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.